Welcome all. As all we know, as a women, we can do wonder. We can create, we can nurture, we can transform. Just not for ourselves, not for just for our kids, even the society and the nation. So She the TV is the one of the organization where they've just taken a mission to transform the women. And last 8 years, they are successfully showcasing the women who are entrepreneurs or successful women leaders in every career and every path. So with them, this year we are opening the restarting the entrepreneurship journey where the corporate women comes and then start up the journey as an entrepreneur. Privileged to bring two leaders for you today to showcase where they were in corporate and enjoying the corporate life. Somewhere they felt that they can just do something beyond the corporate life. So I have today to just bring you Rashmi. So Rashmi is just worked in the corporate for 17 years and happened to move from Silicon Valley of India, which is Bangalore, to Belgaum. And she found that it is overwhelming to go back and then settle over there. So in spite of searching for a job, she has chosen the entrepreneurial journey. And today she set up a studio called Tarang, which is amazingly doing great, and she received the state and national award for her entrepreneurship journey. So that's we have Rashmi Kulkarni with us. And technology is not cup of coffee for everyone, right? People always just say, is it a truth or dare? So we have someone who can say that it is not a truth or dare, it is both. So she has just taken the journey and then wanted to prove herself with technology, being an entrepreneur, she can just stand alone and prove herself. Who's none other than Nida. Nida Sahar is just moved out of the corporate journey and without just going back on one another job, she wanted to just try her hand with technology. And proud to say that she is one of the top 100 startup today. So let's welcome Nida Sahar and Rashmi Kulkarni to our session. Thanks for just joining, ladies. Pleasure to be with you today. Awesome.
Thanks, Manjula, for having us. Yeah.
Awesome, lovely. Right. So let's just look at that today. As we know, it's going to be an informal session to unravel your story and making sure people who are listening at least a point for them to take it and then see that if Nida and Rashmi can do it, I can also. So that's the story we are just going to share your journey with our audience and figure it out how they can be. Feel this session is going to be a one another inspiring session for them to take a next step. So over to you, Rashmi. Just wanted to understand. Tell us about you.
Thanks, Manjula, for such warm welcome. I'm Rashmi, and yes, I have been born and brought up in Bangalore, and again, my corporate work also goes in Bangalore. So it was about roughly about 17 to 18 years with HR background, where I have worked in for various companies like Accenture, Hewlett Packard, and also Fidelity Information System. And yes, right now, after my marriage, I was supposed to move to Belgaum, which is a tier 2 city and a very smaller city compared to the Silicon Valley. And I did try for some good jobs and other things, but I will unveil the things, the story behind the starting, my studio here. And right now I own a studio by name Studio Tarang in Belgaum. Yes, I also have an office in Bangalore as well. So this is about me. The Studio Tarang is all about creating education through art. That is what we focus on. And from last 10 years, Studio Tarang is on with lots of ups and downs, and I'm happy to be here today sharing my story with you. Thank you.
Lovely, lovely, right? So ups and downs is a part of the entrepreneurial journey. If we are not ready, we wouldn't have just chosen
Very
this
true.
path at all. So, and that's going to be the another inspiring story. It's just not always the trajectory goes up; it just
Yes,
comes down. And that's our lesson learned rather than taking a back step. So, thanks for
exactly.
just sharing that. And let's just welcome Nida to share your introduction to us. Please go ahead, Nida.
Yeah, I mean, similar introduction to Rashmi, born and brought up in Bangalore, studied, did everything over here. So I was in corporate for about 10 years, software engineer, application developer, worked in Hewlett Packard, Oracle, EMC Square. And then I was not happy with my work for a lot of time, not because of the companies or because of the projects that I was working on. I was just not happy in terms of ownership. And then in 2016 I started planning my exit out of the company. In 2017 I finally got rid of my corporate job, and for the last 5 years I've been doing on and off a bunch of entrepreneurial ventures. And for the last 2.5 years, finally found my calling into what I'm working on right now, Knife, which is a hardcore tech company, pretty much irrelevant to what my industry experience also is. So we help customers deploy, manage, and scale their applications globally. That's a brief,
Lovely.
yeah.
Lovely, awesome to just hear about your journey too. I do know you as a mentor for our community where you do an exceptional job for us. But beyond that, I do know your passion for technology where you just come and then help others. Thanks, and no wonder where you are standing today. Proud to just welcome you once again, both of you. And with that, let's just start with Rashmi to understand. Rashmi, you just said that age is not no barrier, right? With 17, 18 years of a corporate journey, you don't want to just settle into that because knowing entrepreneurial journey is starting from scratch and do everything. You do everything literally, whether it is an office chorus or you're attending
Yes.
your call and you're going to do everything and you're decided to take that plunge and then move about it. So tell us about that. What is that you felt pros and cons on both the side of the story, both professional and the entrepreneurial journey from your end, Rashmi? Please tell us about it.
Um, yes, Manjula. The thing is, yes, when I started off, my journey into, like, when we say, like, the kind of big words like entrepreneurial journey and all, I was totally not aware, to be, very honest, like, I'm getting into an entrepreneurial journey and all those things. I was just thinking as a mother. My only thing was I was a mother, and but still I wanted to work, because all the way I was working, and suddenly, like, when I took a break, during, after my I conceived and all other things, I felt somewhere that, that void which was in me. I was feeling like, no, I mean, this is not what I wanted. Yes, I wanted a baby, but, like, after the baby, what? I mean, like, it was something haunting me so badly that, finally, like, yes, I said, okay, let me try out many things. And in that many things, I figured out few things. So in that few things, the final one is, my baby, which is Tarang. And yes, it was very exciting for me when I actually launched this company, because it was totally clueless thing. When I launched, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was heading. I didn't have any support. I didn't have any mentors, the kind of things which I hear very oftenly now. In last 2 years, we continuously hear about mentors, the trainings and all that stuff. Back in 2012, if I have to say, like, there was no such women entrepreneurship kind of a thing which was in boom, and, like, where, yes, people were supported to do things either in family background or, friends or whatever, because it is something, the concept itself was very clueless for everyone. So I wanted to do this because I had no other option. That was a very honest answer, because, in a place like Belgaum, where I searched for the job, we didn't even have the option of, work from home that time, 2012. And I was like looking, and I got an answers from my previous employer saying that, Rashmi, being in HR, what is that you're going to do from Belgaum? You will have to attend the meetings, you will have to do things. So this is not a technical job that you just sit and log in and do whatever you want. No, sorry, we cannot, offer you any kind of thing. And they said, no, the typical answers, you've just got a baby, you were longing for a baby, so better sit at home and, like, it's just that enjoy motherhood. Yes, I'm not saying that I never enjoyed motherhood or something, but yeah, I had that urge to do something. And being from a, I come up from a, the, what do you say, joint family in Bangalore, and when I shifted to Belgaum, it was a nuclear family for me, which I was not used to at all. And finally, it so happened that, my baby was only seeing me, my maid, my husband, my maid, and me. And any other person used to step into the home, like, she used to blast off as though she has seen an alien or someone. And like, then I realized, let's do something where it is beneficial for my child, who is growing. She was just hardly 8 months old that time. And I was like, full of lot of thought processes happening in my mind. And I named my studio as Tarang, because there were a lot of waves, like, the thought waves which was going on in my head. What to do, what do I do, what not to do? I didn't know anything, like, Google. We didn't have much of social media boom that time, and all those things. I only remember there was one app, I think Orchid was there when 2012 back. Later on Facebook came up. So it was like I was, okay, what do I do then? Like, I realized that, oh, my grandmother was doing some crafting and other things. Let me even do that. If not nothing, something I'll do. And then, but I gave a very polished name because I came from a corporate background. So that was an advantage. And like, when I started, it was called as Tarang Creative Club. It was a very fancy name at that time, like, Tarang Creative Club. It was, when I launched it, like, I put it up in the newspaper, advertising and other things. People came up, like, they started calling me, what is it all about? And the best part was I was clueless. What is it all about? I was like, yeah, I was giving all the gyans, like, to everyone, that this is that, that is this. And finally, when the day came, like, when I was supposed to start the actual classes, I was like in the morning thinking, okay, today I stand, I don't know anything now. What is that I'm going to do? And, finally I took up all the energy, like, started off with things, with the basic things. And after 2 days, like, I got some courage as, okay, I'm at least fit for this job. I can continue doing this. So then I started doing a serious research about whatever I was doing. Like, I was into art and craft and other things. It's not that I'm a professional artist or something, but yeah, we all are artists in some way. We all have that hobbies, that interests and all. But yes, I am one of the women, like, who converted the hobby into a proper entrepreneurial journey, and successfully, I am doing it from last 10 years. I'm very proud of it to say, because as you said, the pros and cons, uh, what I faced, I can tell you. The thing is, one thing, as I said, I was clueless, but yes, later on, the social media, people were scaring me, like, the social media, they hack your accounts, they do this, they do that. But till now, touchwood, I didn't face any of such things, because all of them, the connects whom I've got is only through social media. And I'm very happy to say that, because I don't know, I think it's about the way you use social media, and the kind of people you interact. And yes, that definitely, that 17 years of work experience will give you some hold as to understand who is who when people are talking. So that is one thing, like, which I can say it was very good. And yes, I, like, got connected to various people from the art and craft industry, and I started learning what has to be done, how it can be done. I started taking trainings for that. And from a hobby artist, I became a professional artist. And people now, my HR is gone, everything is gone. People call me Rashmi, the artist. And whenever people say that, I always, like, suddenly 2012, strikes to my mind, a proper MBA HR person suddenly saying, like, okay, now I'm an artist. So it's amazing, because, like, it's a complete makeover kind, what it is. And they say artist. Now, after COVID, it gave me another avatar. They say my Sanskrit teacher. So I'm like, oh my, I'm like, I'm all in one now. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But yeah, lot many things goes behind the scene, where you do sleepless nights together, where you work almost 20 to 21 hours. There are days when I've worked for 22 hours, just slept for 2 hours or 1.5 hours, because you have a baby at hand, the baby is crying, then, go food, then something, some customer comes up, some kids call me for some project, a lot of things. And finally, like, the struggling days came to such an end where, like, people say, oh my god, see there, the national award winner. I said, okay, so everything what was in the background is totally covered up with awards, with lot of nice things, and people never see the struggle what we had in last 10 years. I think we were struggling. It was, again, when you say the graph, it's like this, and completely it falls too down, and where I'm like doing nothing at all, suddenly, like, the graph goes up. I'm doing so many things. I mean, the entrepreneurship is something where you do nothing and you do everything by yourself. You go to office sometime, you even sweep, you do everything, mopping also, everything, you're all in one. People say, how many employees? I said, oh, I'm all in one. So look at me. It's like, all avatars doing everything together. And yes, we grew. I mean, it's not that we didn't grow, but it took me almost 5 years to say that I have someone whom I have employed. It took me 5 years to, like, sustain. And yes, there were a lot of times where I said, I cannot, I am giving it up. I felt that, I just, it is the entrepreneurship, the beauty of entrepreneurship is when night, when you're going to sleep, you feel it's done, I'm over, that's it, I'm not going to continue it anymore. In the morning, and morning you get up and think again, like, what next to do, what more things, okay, this didn't happen, let's do something else. I mean, like, that's what it is. Once you get into this kind of entrepreneurship, it's never a look back if you're a passionate entrepreneur. I mean, like, if you really love what you do, you will find ways to do it, no matter what. I mean, like, it's, yeah, today I feel like, I'm totally lost, I cry and I sleep, like, this is what had happened, somebody's told me, don't work, Rashmi. My mother comes up and says, do you need this at all? Why can't you sit at home? You have two small kids and you are already aged. She says, you're already aged, look after your kids. Why do you need all these things? Keep Tarang in hold. And, like, night I said, okay, done, Tarang is on hold. And that hold is, until you open your eyes till next morning, and again Tarang wakes up and Rashmi wakes up. So that is the entrepreneurial journey. And it's been a very good experience for me. uh, yes, as a mother you have lot of pros and cons, but as an entrepreneur you don't have. If you are, like, single holded and you're doing things as an entrepreneur, you have lot of things provided, you have so much of time, space given to you, that independence is given to you, you have a lot of things to do. But if I look, when the mother comes and merges with the entrepreneurship, there where everything, like, crops up, where, like, you're juggling with things, doing all those things. And, I had seen a picture where a woman is holding, lot of things in her hand, one broomstick and all other things, and finally one on laptop. I always find myself doing that. I take my laptop into the kitchen, I do things, I submit today I'm doing also my PhD as well. So I keep submitting my thesis from the kitchen. So I keep calling, I keep doing things. So that's how it is. It's a beautiful journey altogether. It's definitely a must try to everyone. Even if you fail, but you should, try out the entrepreneurship, whatever it is, with your ideas. You learn a lot of things. It's not only about the business, but being a better human, having a lot of patience, how to do things well, how to do multitasking. You completely, entrepreneurship blends you as a whole person. It's just not about making money or something, but you completely groom yourself, as a better person. That's about, what I wanted to share about the work I'm doing, or the things which I'm handling. Over to you.
Amazing. Amazing, Rashmi. Lovely to just see the journey, right? And also see the happiness what you carry. That's more important, right? That happiness can come only if you're passionate and committed. Otherwise, you would
Exactly.
have just given up saying that, oh, it is too much, right? Even though you come with that idea of tomorrow I'm not going to do, you are able to wake up and say, I am doing, right?
Yes.
So that shows the dedication and the passion and how much you enjoy it. The more and more we enjoy, we don't just feel that failure is something where we have to let it go, right?
Yes. Yes.
People just I keep saying that it's okay, it can happen, but how do we turn it out to be a success? As we just started that, women can create, nurture, and transform. One another example, we are seeing that in front of us with Rashmi, how she just created with nothing,
Yes.
created with nothing, right? With it's not something you own something and you're just bringing. You started with nothing and you just nurtured and transformed. Today we are able to see the success story. And can we do anything and everything? Of course, answer is yes. So with
Yes.
that, I'm just going to call Nida to just share her journey about what do you think as a pros and cons for you being in a career as well as in the entrepreneurship. Looking forward to hear from you, Nida. Go ahead.
Yeah, just to focus on pros and cons, it's going to be too many pros and too many cons, frankly. Let's I don't know, a positive place to let's start with a positive place,
Yeah.
basically. So the pros really are the fact that you have ownership of everything. Like, I do 10,000 things in my company, right, from business development to sales to marketing to even learning content. Sometimes I'm designing posters. So everything that's the pro part of it, the ownership part of it, something that never found in corporate, really, because you're given one role, you're asked to do that one role. Maybe you can go a little bit more here and there and then pick up more things, but that's one role that you're supposed to do. Your KPIs are there. The cons are really the fact that you're doing everything. So that means that your mind is shifting from one thing to 10,000 things in a day's time, and then you have to bring back focus. So you are expanding yourself and bringing back focus down to the same thing again and again, right? The second, of course, biggest challenge is, where is the money, right? Where is the money? So in corporate, you get a salary at end of every month. You have the salary and then you take the money, you go to the parlor, whatever. So but here, money is really proportional to how hard you work and where you land up putting more effort into, versus anything related to anything else. As in, what I mean to say is that in corporate, there is a tendency that you can take 7 days off, 5 days off, go on long vacations. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, that's something that it's very difficult. You will not want to do it also. That's another story. Work weeks are, I would say, 365 days a week, 365 days a month, year, sorry. And you're working 7 days a week. You don't take a break. I can completely relate to what Rashmi said in terms of baby and taking care of baby and things like that. It's, be it kitchen, be it restroom, be it wherever, you're actually taking calls. You're constantly thinking about what the next move really is. So I mean, there's one part of corporate that comes in, or a regular job that comes in with a lot of caveat in terms of luxury that you get, benefits that you get. Every Diwali, you land up getting a gift in corporate, right? Versus here, you plan out what can you possibly give to your employees. So I think those are things that are very, very different from a pro and cons perspective. Now, the beauty about entrepreneurship really is the fact that you create something. Like, I remember the first time when I created my company itself. I was in pandemic 2020, stuck in Singapore, and no way to go back home. And my coach told me, just go ahead and create a company. So I went ahead and created a company. I got my first intern on board, and that was so beautiful. It's just having somebody work with you. Then moving forward, we won a deal in 2020 itself. So completing the pilot was so beautiful. So every single day, there's a huge win. Maybe because we're still early, 2.5 years into the whole thing, getting our first investment into the company, getting second investment, winning a hackathon, getting a PR. So everything is like looking at it from fresh, like a child just looking up to new things that you learn, right? So every single A, every single B, every single C. So that's the beauty of it. Of course, in the process, you're letting go of a lot of things. My friends in corporate are earning like crazy. I cannot even tell you. So you're letting go of all that. But then the fact is that this gives you so much peace and pleasure, because you're passionate about this, you will land up doing it. You will land up wanting to work for 365 days a year, right? So one thing that I want to highlight is that entrepreneurship is not for the weak of hearts, right? So you can't expect that this is going to be glamour and then you're going to get PR tomorrow, and then a lot of people are going to look at you and you're going to be billionaire day after tomorrow, and then you'll have some jets that you'll be flying, you'll be Vijay Malaya, or whoever that you want to associate with. But it's not that easy, it's not that simple, and it really, really, really takes a brave person to let go of everything that you were taught growing up, and to do this full heartedly. It's a lot of blood, sweat, tears, I would say. And Manjula, this, it's only blood, sweat and tears, and then it reaps you benefits of everything else that you can.
Absolutely, Nida, you're bang on it, right? It just looks very encouraging for outside, but just as you and Rashmi said, that just patches up what's the struggle we went through. That's our happiness when we just give that appreciation, when we get to see that the product what we wanted to launch, and when the customer says, you guys have done a wonderful job. So that day is our moment where we have just forgetting whatever your 7 by 24 you slogged and struggled. That's our happiness, and that can't be just share it. We have to experience it. And good to see that, yes, both of you have just experienced it and then able to say that, hey, it is okay to fail. And there is a lot of joy. And the joy is not going to come from day one. It is going to take time to just get that across, and be ready for it as long as you're ready and you're just going to get. I just wanted to reiterate the pros, whatever you have said, so that if somebody having a doubt to become an entrepreneur, they should consider, right? The pros is you get your independence, you get your creativity, you get to know what you want to do. You're not here to take the instruction and execute. If you are the person who are looking for to get these kind of benefits, please start your journey. And maybe a small like us, what we have just started, will just take away. And rather than just thinking about it, I would say start it. Like Nida said, right? During the pandemic, I was just forced to sit out because I can't come back to India from Singapore. And that's the time I started, and it started moving over there. Take that first step. That will just give a taste of it. Are you enjoying it? If yes, that might be a calling, and we should build on it. Thanks for just sharing, both of you, nice views. And with that, I would like to take other tip from all of you, both of you rather, right? If somebody wants to create an entrepreneurial journey, now that Rashmi also said there is no mentoring concept that time, but today anything and everybody you're talking about mentoring, you talk about startup, you talk about accelerator, incubator, everything has been framed across to you to do that. In spite of that, if you wanted to take the plunge and then go about it, what could be the preparatory steps to do the entrepreneurial journey? Maybe 3 to 5 steps I would like to hear from both of you. Rashmi, just over to you. Tell us about what could be the 5 preparatory steps.
The first step would be, making your mind itself for being an entrepreneur. That's the first and the foremost thing. And yes, the second thing, what I would say is, like, whenever you're getting into something, when I started, I was clueless. Now, if somebody asks me, I will definitely tell what is that you are good at, and what is that you can take it forward. As Nida said, she knew. I mean, like, we knew that I didn't have a fair idea of I might be good at this thing, because, see, when I see my profession was different, almost about 18 years. And then something, when I took a plunge to this studio, it was, everything was new, because the learning was new, what I'm going to do was new. I had no clue. I didn't even know that there is a lot of professionalism attached to this, whole thing. Like, when you talk about art, and when you talk about crafting, or whatever it is, there is too much of professionalism involved in this, which I was not aware of. So now I can always tell, like, whenever you want to do anything, even if you're clueless like me, but at least get prepared. You know, like, what you're doing, what you have to do. You can make a plan, make a good plan of, at least, like, it cannot be, definitely it cannot be 100% correct. I can bet that. No matter, whomever you have or whatever you experience you bring in, but when you actually start off with the entrepreneur thing, that 100% goes for a ditch. I mean, like, every the calculations, whatever you think, whatever you make, even now today I face that. Like, I today I think, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Everything is settled, and suddenly something happens, like, I have to rework everything, reschedule everything, do things as Nida said. I mean, but yes, that independence you always have in the entrepreneurship, where you can do that rework as many times as you want and however you want. Like, and the only thing what an entrepreneur should know is, whatever you do, you are the only one person who is going to bear the consequences, whether it is good, whether it is bad, or whether it is worse. So just be prepared mentally. Finances are definitely needed, but if you ask me, from 2012, I didn't have 1 rupee when I started Studio Tarang. I'm giving a very, very honest answer to the audience. I didn't even have, because I was not even aware that I have to make a lot of money or something. The financial crunch came in when I started expanding. I just utilized whatever the savings I had and other things. I was very eager to do a lot of things, and a lot of energy, a lot of ideas were popping around. But later on, when you, like, actually establish as a company, then you realize that you need so many back end operations to be in place. There are things where you cannot do, which you can do, and all those things. So just be prepared. Like, there are, as again I said, find a mentor. That's the beautiful thing about the entrepreneurship now. Find a mentor, find a proper group where there are like minded peoples like you, no matter what, plus or minus, who are always there to back you out. We don't always need the financial backup. What we need is a moral support who can say, yes, you can do today. I mean, even if you fail, this is where you stand. You can do it. Unless and until, like, people like me who are crazy, who, instantly in 5 minutes who say, I cannot do, and another 10th minute I come up and say, I can do everything. We have such crazy people as well. So, like, I always say that, because I feel I'm little crazy when I say, I can do, I cannot do. It's like a split personality. Suddenly, when the entrepreneurship takes up, I feel I can do anything when what I want. When I become a mother, I feel I can't do anything at all. So that's how the thing goes on. And do your groundwork properly. Find a mentor for you who can support you, at least to that level where you can say that, yes, I am doing something. I know where I'm going. So you're not clueless as to what you want to do or you're doing. Just do a market research. I always feel that, whichever the area you're starting off the work with, you need a good thorough market research to be done. Who are your competitors, and what is the kind of the products that they are offering, and what best, or what is that which you can do, which will make you stand apart from the competitors, in your field. When I enter into my field, I should be known as, this is the lady who does this. I mean, there may be a lot many people who are doing the same thing, but they're not Rashmi. They're definitely not Rashmi. So that is the kind of attitude that I carry always. No matter you do whatever, we are both. There are instances where we have the competitors, 4 or 5 competitors standing together and having a good, healthy chat. But the competition is in the business, not as a person. So always be a better person. I mean, like, the things will definitely fall into place automatically. That's what I feel. When you start thinking, too many negative things cannot make a positive person.
Absolutely.
Negativity should be there, negativity should be there, but, like, you just can't, nowadays I find kids, because some of them had, approached me asking this. But I see when we tell them, like, do this, do that, but they instantly give up. They say, ma'am, we did for 2 months, it's horrible, I cannot do this, this person talks to me this way. I mean, we have heard, forget about outsiders, insiders speak, horribly at times. But that is what the entrepreneurship is about. I mean, like, you're dipping into all the shit and getting out and totally clean and saying, this is where I am. I mean, that is what I feel. Like, people should have a lot of patience when you're getting into something new. You need time. We need time. It's not like, Aladdin's lamp that you say, ha chalo, I'm doing this, come out, oh wow, I mean, like, look at this, what I am. For me to come up with my own office, I took about 2 years, where my husband said, either it's you or your office stuff which is going to be at home. So you decide what you want to do. That is where it struck to my mind that yes, I can open my own office. I, till that time I was very cozy, comfortably doing it at a home, like, enjoying things and all that stuff. Then when I started off with the office, that was a break even point for me, where I started looking on into many things. And as Nida said, like, yes, you learn a lot of things. I mean, now you have everything in at hand. That's what I feel. The all the younger generation or the older generation who wants to, want to step into be an entrepreneur, you have everything ready in hand. Be it social media or the information, everything is provided to you right away. I mean, like, it's just like that. You just take it, grab it, and do whatever best you can out of the things which you have. But never lose that patience, that dedication, that passion. Once the passion is lost, I mean, no matter how much money you have, no matter what backup you have, no matter what mentor says, when we are not ready to take what the other person is saying, everything is gone for a toss. So just keep an open mind and accept the failures very happily. I would say very happily accept the failures. I have failed because I attempted. If I've not attempted, what is the fun of failing? Actually, just many times when I failed, I felt I was so happy. I said, oh man, another one mistake. I used to put it in my diary. Another one mistake, go back and see, okay, this is not to be repeated. This is not to be repeated. Unless and until you come and stand in the water, you don't know the depth of the water. So it's better,
Absolutely.
like, instead of sometimes we say we do the startup Karnataka. When I got selected just a month before, I was actually, I mean, it was very amazing for me, because I've been working for 10 years without knowing anything, but we are successful. We are successful as a brand, as everything. Now there are so many things which is there. I mean, I felt, yes, oh, this and all I didn't know. Okay, this is an value addition for me. That's how you keep looking at your journey, and, like, just accept whatever it is, plus and minus, go ahead, take a lot of help from people, just do your proper research. First, know what is the core area that you're working in, and never give up is what I say. No matter what, never give up. Just enjoy and move ahead. Whatever happens, it happens. Whether, like, you always have, as Nida said, keep an exit plan always. You need to have an exit plan always. Okay, today if I exit, without, like, I'm not succeeding, so I'm exit, I have another plan B. And if I get a success, my plan is anyway running well. That's what I feel. Thanks.
Love.
Yeah.
Good, good. Lovely, Rashmi, once again, just giving the details of how we can just prepare ourselves. But as a summary, let me also just add it so that if somebody looks for what is that, they can just get it. Uh, get an idea what you're looking for, and never ever give up. Do your research and be patient to just go on and then get your things done, and connect with mentors and the ecosystem, like-minded groups, etc., which is going to add a value for our growth. Lovely topics which we have just explored. Let's hear from Nida what's her pointers for us to ponder. If someone wants to come back to entrepreneurship, what is that 3 to 5 things we can look forward? Nida, over to you.
Definitely, definitely. So I think my perspective will be very different from Rashmi's perspective because I've made use of everything that is there in the ecosystem. But prior to that, I'll tell you what I did when I quit my job. Right in 2016, I started making planning to want to pursue entrepreneurship. A year before I actually quit, year and a half before I quit my corporate job. So what really happened was I spoke to a mentor and I said I want to take up entrepreneurship. I hate my job. Blah 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 blah. And he said, you know how difficult it's going to be. You won't have money coming into your bank account. What are you going to do? And I said, oh, I have savings. And then he said, what's your monthly expenditure? What is your incoming? I mean, how much do you spend per month, basically? And then I said, oh, I spend so much, which is half my salary. And I was getting quite a hefty salary at that point of time. So the focus then became, how is it that I'm not going to go and ask my family for money? So the reason why I'm talking about this and probably highlight a little bit big is that I come from a very orthodox Muslim family. My mother's side of the family did not want me to work even. My father's side of the family has a lot of working women. So it was very difficult for me to convince my mother's side of the family that I wanted to work first of all. And I've been financially independent right from this time I started working. Right. So for me, quitting my job and then going back and asking anybody for money was going to be a problem, really a big problem. So, my first preparation step when I started quitting my job was to do my financial planning, to live off as minimum as possible, so that even if I don't have enough money coming in, I can still survive. The second thing was knowing the fact that I have X amount of savings and I need to do my investments, keep them ready so that I can get a recurring money that keeps coming in if in case I fail at as an entrepreneur. Probably something very intelligent that was taught to me at that point of time. But having said that, the second step I would say is, like Rashmi said, like-minded people, cover yourself or have the right side of people that you can be involved with. So I'm a part of Startup Leadership Program. Manjula is also a part of it. So what we have is a group of women who actually help each other out. Not just women, there are men also. So you have an entire ecosystem of founders who can tell you. So my closest friends are people like, if my employee says something and I need to crib about it, right? These are the closest people that I have that I can go and talk about it, and I can say, hey, listen, I don't know what to do about this. Hey, I don't know how to do anything about social media. So this is the closest set of people. So I've been a part of that. So entrepreneurial ecosystem is really important. Of course, plan is important. Without plan, you can't do anything. So once you have a plan in place, even the risk mitigation in terms of, if this doesn't happen, can I do this? Can I do that? That is important. And I've been privileged to have good mentors also. As a person, I've always had mentors all my life throughout my childhood. So when I again 2016 2017 time frame, I didn't have an idea when I quit a job. I just said I'll do whatever, let it come. I started building women-centric tech communities and all that stuff. So I just said whatever comes, I'll do. Right. So at that point of time, what I did is I started shadowing entrepreneurs. I said, I'll work with you, don't pay me money. I'll just see how it is. What are you doing from an operations perspective? I'll help you out. So things like that. So I've always had mentors. So whether it is tech mentors, non-tech mentors, business mentors. So I work a lot with mentors just to understand where am I going wrong, what I need to do, and things like that. Finally, the last point that I want to say is about accelerators, incubators, and everything else, because our company is like has been a part of a lot of accelerators, really. So I think it's really important today that we have access to finances, we have access to grants, we also have access to all these accelerators that you can apply to. And if you do get through, not only do you get financial support, but you'll also get a hand holding in terms of growth. So something which is a struggle otherwise, right? Whether it's, forget about social media, even your pitch deck and business plan, there are other people who can help you out. So I think hooking yourself onto that ecosystem is really good. And today we have that ecosystem and support, and everyone is at a reach of an email or a WhatsApp message. So that's something that we should be grateful about social media, really. That's all, Rashmi. Those are all my points. Yeah.
Perfect. Powerful. Powerful, I would say that, right? It's other perspective what we are just hearing from Nida, and which is really a takeaway for our audience too. It's just about entertaining and then using the startup ecosystem for your benefit, and then take a benefit out of it for your growth too. So it's a win-win situation. When you just give, you also get it. It's not something a one-way story. It is always a two-way. When you give, you also get highlighted about it. Excellent one. So just to summarize that, if any of you are just looking for getting into the startup, of course you have to plan and you need to be ready financially as well as taking a lifestyle change like Nida was talking about. I just learned about how I can just simplify my lifestyle and then be with the smaller savings, what we can just do. So while we are just going to do that, the other part of that is just going to be find out the startup ecosystem, which is very well needed, because when you become an entrepreneur, you are all alone in the whole journey. No one is there. Left side you turn, right side you turn, whichever turn you said, you are the only person. Right? You need somebody to bounce it across. So ecosystem creates, like even Rashmi also said, like-minded group is what needed. The emotional support is what needed more than anything. Find that out, and they are able to help you whenever you need. That's one thing. And other thing, the Nida was just talking about, she used to be part of anything and everything. You call and she's there, not for anything. She wanted to support it, just her nature, but that also pays a lot to her. Right? It just comes back to her in terms of other support, what you're looking for. So, being an entrepreneur, we shouldn't be shying away saying that I am busy, I cannot do that. No, you are going to take up a time and then going to spend time with any ecosystem or leaders, or it could be you can also mentor others. That's a great way of learning more things. Since you know more things about it, we can also mentor others and we can get the nuances from other people as well. How do we succeed? Wonderful insights from both of you, which is really happy to just get the pointers across the audience what we wanted to do that. So to end the session, finally, I just wanted to just call upon and then ask for your last inspiring message to our sisterhood. The reason I would like to just say sisterhood, it incidentally coincided with She the TV as well. Shaili has just written a book on sisterhood economy as well, which is inspiring to read about that. Right. So sisterhood is a very heartful way of connecting everybody together, saying that hey, we are together in the journey and we can just learn and then grow together. So wanted to invite each of you to just share about what is your inspiring message for our sisterhood. Over to you, Rashmi.
Yes, Manjula. The inspiring message, today we are here in front of you. I feel that is more inspiring for me, I mean, as a person, because I always feel like, when I see other inspiring women, I get inspired. When I see myself, I get more inspired because I know, my journeys, my struggles, how I have come, what I have gone through, what is that I've learned, and, what is that I've not learned as well. I had to let go some of the learnings at times, like, that is what it is. And inspiration comes in every form. Inspiration comes in any form, in every form, with anyone around. It's not that, like, people who are around you, who are helping you, as you said, like, the complete ecosystem. Sometimes I get inspired by my own kids when I feel I'm not able to take it up. When I see my kids, I feel, where does the energy come from? They're not even bothered. I mean, they're not bothered about any consequences. I always feel I always should be in that level where, like a kid, do whatever, you're not bothered about the consequences. Yeah, nowadays, like, I feel, when Nida was speaking, I felt, yeah, I'm really old now. Like, that's the kind of thing. Okay, it just struck me when she was speaking. I felt, see, the thing, as I said, the way when we started, it was a complete whole story new. And nowadays the new kids like Nida are coming, and, like, they are doing their own things with lot of knowledge, and with lot of more inspiration. They're inspiring also people. Yeah, we have another set of women like me, who come from a different generation and who think something different. But the beauty of the thing is, we both balance each other. We try to learn from each other. Like, it's not that. I felt so happy when Nida was talking, the kind of confidence which she has now, which I didn't have way back in 2012. I really didn't have that confidence. And now, like, I'm doing good things, but if you ask me, when I come in front of screen, I feel, oh my god, will I be able to talk? What is that I'm going to talk? Because I don't know. I said, okay, anyway, I thought, let me prepare. I said, what will I prepare? It's my own story. It's my own story which I'm going to talk about. I feel it's okay. Let's leave it. So these are the people, whom you, for me today, talking to you was an inspiration. Seeing Nida talk was an inspiration for me. You there are things which open a different perspectives. So just keep your mind open all the time. And I have seen people saying that I have struggled so much, but I have, if I start writing, I can write a book. I have so many struggles in last 10 years, that I've faced in personal front, in the professional front. And yes, I didn't leave any opportunity. I kept on learning. I'm still learning, and I'm still learning. People ask me, I am still learning. They say, you don't you get tired? I said, why should I get tired? I'm every day I'm learning something new. Please learn. Please reach out for help. Once upon a time, I didn't reach out for help. See, that is where I said I loved Nida's confidence, because she said, I went here, I went there, I did everything. And I was the one who did nothing. I was like very quiet. I was very scared. I said, God, what if I ask someone and they feel this lady is so dumb? That was my feeling way back then. And now, I started opening up. When I went in, there was CWE, there was Vibha, there was Swift community. I came in touch with lot of women, and I was surprised to see. I felt, oh my God, I'm not only one who is struggling. All of them are struggling. I was so happy. I said, okay, chalo, let's get into the band. It feels so happy when you're learning with different experiences. And yeah, for an example, when I went to the startup incubation program very recently, and I was like clueless, and all of them were almost the age of Nida, young, inspiring, and all this, so much of bubbling things. And I was like sitting like an old lady there. And then, when we started exchanging the topics, we came to know that, oh my, we are all on the same state, whatever it is. That's the beauty. It's always, they say, women doesn't support women, but now I don't really feel it is true. Because for me, if I take an example, only women were the one who supported me, because they understood me, what I was going through. Because some days, sometime, they were in the same point as I was. So they knew what the struggle was. They say, Rashmi, you don't worry, we are there. You do this, you do that. And I felt, oh, great. I mean, this is how it is. And I have seen, at least in people like in Belgaum, where people don't talk at all. They're doing some good business, they are getting money, but it's just because they are lacking behind, because they don't want to open up. So please open up. I want to talk, on behalf of the people like tier 2, tier 3 cities who don't have much exposure, who feel like, I cannot come up and do anything. That is really not true. Just open up. Only there is one thing which you have to strike in 1 minute. I think you can strike a conversation, and there you are. No matter you have a proper education, where you don't have an education, doesn't matter. I mean, you're an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. It doesn't, we don't go and say, I'm a PhD entrepreneur. I mean, nobody will say that, of course, right? I mean, you're just an entrepreneur. That is what I learned from my new mentors now. It's just that money matters. Do whatever you want, money matters. I mean, I was, we are the artist community people, where we think money doesn't matter. Nida is come from there, where money matters. So for us, money doesn't matter. It's like, only we start painting, we start doing something. I mean, we don't even care about the consequences. When I heard Nida, now I said, no, 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 I'm like, now alert. Okay, I will do all my backup things now. And I will do whatever. When she was talking about investments and other thing, I was felt really happy. That is the kind of people who should actually support the women in this kind of two tier cities. You people are helping out women in, the places like Bombay, Pune, Bangalore, and all other things. I would definitely like to, reach you out, like how you can really help women who are come from some villages, some small towns, and who have good knowledge about what they are doing, but they don't have market, and they don't know how to talk, how to approach, and everything. This is a shout out for all the women from tier 2 and tier 3 cities who are really doing some good job, but they're not coming ahead and showcasing their talent. Please showcase, please talk, please share about plus and minus. And definitely there are people like Nina and Manjula who will come and hold your hand. That is what I want to say. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rashmi, for sharing that. But you are the inspiration. Just believe it. And we got entire inspiration from you, the way you started, and you have just come over here. And as you rightly said, as a sisterhood, we are ready to be open to support anyone and everyone. There is no qualifying criteria for us to say anything can just happen. So happy to just support us in any form, any way. We are all accessible, as Nida was talking about. WhatsApp and social media made us to say hi in multiple ways. If you we don't say LinkedIn, then come to Twitter. If it is not Twitter, you just come to the WhatsApp. So that's how we have been connected with the world as united as we can. So happy to just support our sisterhood. Over to you, Nida. Tell us about your inspiring message for our sisterhood community.
Yeah, Rashmi, just two things I want to answer. One thing is I think I'm probably like probably 5 years younger to you or something. I'm not that young either, but there are a lot more younger women who are doing crazy stuff. So I'll definitely acknowledge that fact. The Yeah, so a couple of things, right? We have 60% women in our team, and Manjula knows this. I'm very very supportive of women working, women in tech, women restarting careers. So for me, the most important thing has been the impact that I create, right? Whatever I do, this is what I believe in, and this is what I want to push my team to work towards. But having said that, working with women, being a part of the whole women in tech ecosystem has made me believe that we as women have, we unnecessarily clog ourselves with a lot of barriers. We keep saying that I can't do this, I can't do that, I need this support in order to do that. And like what Rashmi said, it's all about breaking barriers. It's about saying that okay, I'm self limiting myself because I think I cannot do this. But just imagine if we had all the resources in this world, right? If we had all the money, if we had all the time, all the luxury, what would you have done? So that's what you need to think about and focus towards it, and everything else you'll see will come to you automatically. So it's about breaking those barriers and then building those bridges in order to navigate towards your goal. This is what I think is the most important thing. And as women, we tend to unnecessarily put ourselves behind some roadblocks, saying that we can't do this, we can't do that, you know and sisterhood of course is there to support. So beyond the sisterhood, there are a lot of schemes for women, there are a lot of programs for women today. Everyone wants women to grow in this, whether it's a tech career path, whether it is women who want to do something differently. There are so many programs. One has to just go and identify and pick it up, or reach out to people who can help you navigate towards that path. So that's what I would really say. And yeah, please break barriers and build bridges. That's my 2 cents in terms of passing information to sisterhood.
Lovely. Lovely, Nida. Thanks for just sharing that. So it's really wonderful to just connect and then take the inspiring message and then be connected. So people who are just watching, we wanted to just share that we are available. It is just not we when we just say that. So entire sisterhood community is just waiting. Identify and connect with that. She the TV is one of the placeholder. You can keep seeing the inspiring women like us where they could have just shared their own journey, which would be inspiring part of it. Or if you're just reaching out for your career guidance or your entrepreneurial journey, we are all available on the LinkedIn. Happy to support anytime. Wishing you all the best to you. And once again, thanks to our lovely members over here who came and then shared their journey and keep inspiring us all the time. Thanks for taking your time, and thanks Shri the TV for giving us the opportunity. Love you all. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you
I
so much,
think we
Manjula. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks, Nida. It was